Oh, hey there, Bruce. Welcome back to Murder Most Misfortunate. We nearly checked out every room now, and we've unlocked a lot of new conversation pieces, so I think we'll hit these next two rooms, head back to the start, see if there's any new conversation pieces, and I think we're going to have to start figuring out exactly who done this shit. Let's move to the breaker room, shall we? I'm not sure who done it at this stage. Anyone could have done it.
This should be the breaker room, but... Oh, drat it all. I really don't feel like groping around in the dark.
I love groping.
Bumping into dangerous old electrical equipment. I should probably come back after I find a flashlight or a candle.
That'd be nice. How have we not found anything? I feel like I haven't, like the conversations have gone really well, but the examining rooms have not gone really well.
I returned to what the prince had called the proverbial smoke-filled room. It struck me that this would be the perfect place to call everyone and reveal the truth to this mystery.
Agatha Christie style.
In the meantime, I thought it wise to take another look around while I still had the room to myself.
Alright, no one to talk to. Oh, this is where that knife was. Gather everyone I know who the killer is? No. This is where that knife was. It was up here.
That cabinet had a few things of interest in it, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Let's take a closer look.
Indeed. Can I have this?
A padded velvet cushion sat in the cabinet looking somewhat forlorn. Surely it was meant to showcase something more interesting, but there was nothing on it now.
Should I put the knife on it?
I could swear that something had been on this cushion before. Just what was it?
The knife, stupid.
Yes, that was it. There had been a knife on the cushion during our tour.
Yeah.
I was sure of it. And not just any knife. The knife.
Yeah, it's the same knife.
Stabbed the prince.
It's very ornate.
But who could have taken it? I cast my mind back, trying to remember if anyone had lingered behind for even a moment. But it availed me nothing. The prince had been the first to leave the room, but that was the only thing of which I was certain.
We got anything else we can work with?
In the cabinet, there was an odd little doll that seemed to be made out of straw. Was it some kind of voodoo doll? I tried making those a time or two myself, although, to my great dismay, they never seemed to actually work quite right.
It's the Wicker Man. Yeah, I was talking about Nicolas Cage earlier today. Also, it kind of reminds me of the straw dolls from the last game. Alright, let's look somewhere else, I suppose. Man.
The strange pose of the statue in the corner of the room.
He's creeping.
Rather reminds me of my third husband.
It reminded me of my third husband. This is him sneaking out at night.
He was in the process of losing his balance.
Oh, he's an alcoholic. I see.
Terrible tragedy, really. I had to have those stairs completely replaced just to get the blood out.
Oh, that's fucked, man. That's fucked. I don't like that. Please stop talking. I can't handle it when you talk. Come on, I need a candle or something. Hook me up with a candle environment. Oh, a ball, which is called a plantier, apparently.
The large crystal globe in the cabinet was impossible to miss. It seemed to be filled with a swirling red mist of some kind, and as I stared into it, I thought for a moment that I could see a pair of malevolent eyes. Or was it just one, staring back? But surely it must have just been my reflection in combination with the dim light.
You know, following the framing of the roof around here, it's a very oddly shaped room, isn't it? It's like in and out and up and down and blip 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 like that. It's I don't know who designed this, but they were probably that drunk guy over there, the statue man.
On one side of the room, there was a wine rack filled with dusty old bottles. Most were empty, but a few still contained small amounts of what must have been very well-aged red wine. At least, I hoped it was just wine. With a family like the Lees, one could never be quite sure. Perhaps I should take a bottle with me to check it later. Just in case.
How exactly are you going to check it later? You're going to have a drink, have a swig. No, it's not wine, it's urine. Red urine. Oh god. Kidney stone urine. Alright, I think we're done in this room. It wasn't exactly helpful, but we're done. Can we use this to open this? Can we combine things? I don't think we can. Alright, go back to the start and do it again, I guess. We need to look around for a candle. Somehow. Somewhere. Candles! Can I have one of these? Oh, I'll talk to you. New money. Big money.
Poor little girl. I was talking to my friend the Comtessa, and she told me she'd heard people at court say the rudest things about your late family.
I suppose they might have done. Sometimes people will say things that are quite unkind. I try not to let it bother me.
Still, it must be awfully hard being a new money family when there are so many busybodies who go on and on about tradition and blue blood and that sort of thing.
Oh, I don't think so. Some people will say cruel things about anybody. I've heard them say things even about the Comtessa, too. So it wasn't just us.
About the Comtessa, really? I thought you said you didn't listen to that sort of thing.
I try not to. But Titanico talked about it sometimes. I think he knew the Comtessa's last husband before he passed away.
I also got that impression.
My goodness! Surely he didn't imply that she was in any way responsible. That would be unthinkable.
Yes, how unlikely.
Well, he did say there were rumors. But I'm sure that's all they were. Like I said, people say nasty things sometimes.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yes, my dear. They most certainly do.
Oh yeah. Alright, let's maybe I can take one of these candles now? Yes!
Was it only coincidence that the trail of candles in the center of the main
Excuse
hall
me.
seemed to lead straight to the body of the prince? Or had our mysterious killer intentionally used them to frame their handiwork out of some sense of macabre artistry?
I just
Well,
gonna give me a candle.
As it might be to despoil a work of art, it occurred to me that a candle might come in handy for searching the dark old house. Since with all the commotion of finding the body, I must have misplaced the one I had earlier.
Is it still lit? How do I light it? Will it just light automatically, or do I need to find a lighter? Alright, let's try it out. Let's go to that room that we couldn't explore because it was too dark. Breaker room. Breaker. Activate candle.
Thanks to my candle here, I should be able to find a light switch.
Thanks, trusty candle.
There. With only a little effort, I found my way down to the basement of the old house. Although our little adventure with the lighting had seemed natural enough at the time, given the condition of the house, the prince's murder had colored all of the evening's happenings with a more sinister shading.
Copper, mostly.
Perhaps examining the house's electrical panel for myself would shed some light on the mystery.
Perhaps. Do we have any crowbars down here? I could really do for with a crowbar right now.
That must be the breaker panel. Let's take a closer look, shall we?
Shall we? Let's. Ooh, puzzle.
I don't know much about this sort of thing, but it looks to me that all the switches are on, except for one. Well, fun as it would be to make the little girl faint again, I probably shouldn't touch them for now. The wiring is old, but it looks to me like it should all work. It's a bit of a mess, though. Hard to tell just what goes where.
Yeah.
Hello. What have we here? It's an electrical timer. I once used one of these in the school breaker room to shut off the lights during my high school.
So it was set up automatically.
You can use it to flip a breaker switch at a predetermined time. The question is, just what is it doing here? I'm starting to think our little blackout earlier might have been no accident after all.
No shit, Sherlock. Okay, good. Can I keep examining the room? I just don't want to look at that stuff anymore. Oh, there's nothing else here, is there? Okay. Interesting, interesting. Those vases? What room was that in? Was that the queen bedroom? In here? Come back, vase. Oh man, I didn't mean to do that. Shit. Sorry. Alright, we'll check the Comtesse as well, because we did talk about her as well, didn't we? So let's have a quick talk to her. Talk. Nothing. Examine room. Use the candle in the vase, find a thing, and profit.
A set of old vases sat on the dresser.
Yeah, I know.
I suppose I could have stuck my...
We have a candle now. You said you could... God damn it, lady. Alright, dining hall. Oh, this is another room with nobody in it. Where's Horatio? Horatio's here. Whoa, okay.
So, that Klops fellow. He was the prince's valet. Have I got that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's right. Mr. Tor is the butler, but today's his day out.
So is he, a good valet then? I only ask because I just found him skulking about in the brush outside, and I wasn't really sure if that was the sort of things valets usually do.
He moonlights as a gardener. You know. Extra money.
Does he now? Well, I can't say I know terribly much about the exact duties of my dear friend's household staff, but I know he did some gardening from time to time.
Oh, yeah.
Indeed, gardening. I believe he said something along those lines as well.
I want this guy's hat, man.
Yes, well, he was quite good at whacking weeds. Or so I heard.
I suppose that sounds about right. If I were a weed, or really, even if I wasn't, I wouldn't
You
want to
aren't.
be whacked by him either. Was he happy with his work? Do you know?
Come to think of it, he did seem a bit jealous of Mr. Tor's position from time to time.
No doubt being a butler pays better than a mere valet. Though I'm not sure how either stacks up against a grand magus.
Need I remind you, Misfortune, I'm not, was not, an employee of the prince's household.
But of course, how silly of me. So back to Mr. Klops then. Do you know if he had issues with money? Might he badly have needed a raise?
Everybody does. Gotta pay rent, man.
He couldn't say. Perhaps someone of the staff did, though. I did sometimes hear Mr. Tor complain about small valuables going missing.
So very interesting. You've been a great help, my dear Horatio.
It is my pleasure to be of service.
He's such a dork. Next.
Horatio, dear, are you certain you won't tell me about this special announcement that the prince was going to make?
Tell me or else.
My lips are sealed.
Oh, ho hum. Then I suppose I'll just have to tell you about it.
You... what?
It had to do with this, didn't it?
Oh, man. The ring, probably.
Alakazam again. how did you get that?
Who the fuck's his
I wish I knew
Alakazam?
that myself. But for now, I think it's best to stay on track while the wizard is still wonderstruck. Tut-tut, my dear. Magicians aren't the only ones who get to keep secrets. The important thing is what the prince planned to do with it. It was his, wasn't it?
Well, yes. I mean, it was. Well, it wasn't exactly for him, you see. Yet, oh dear.
You want to marry Charisse?
No need to worry, darling. I already know exactly what it was for. It's simple, really. He was going to propose to Charisse.
And what makes you say that?
Oh, come now, my dear. It doesn't take a fortune teller to see that he'd been doing everything in his power to sweep her off her feet. Add to that a diamond ring sized for slender little fingers, and the story all but writes itself.
It's pretty obvious, yeah.
It is true that he was quite, taken with her, yes. I mean, who wouldn't be, really?
Jealousy?
Oh, yes. Sweet, demure, pliable, and very, very
Pliable.
rich. Just the type for the prince, I'm sure.
You're not going to tell Miss
Flexible.
this, are you? Surely it would only make things even harder for her.
Can fit herself into a tiny fucking briefcase?
No, at least not yet. Like I said, sometimes I like to have a secret or two up my sleeve myself. But confirming that I was right about the prince's intent certainly does paint this mystery in a whole new light.
Quite.
Horatio, my dear, I'm so sorry, but I'm afraid you've got some explaining to do.
You got some splaining to do.
Now, Misfortune, I already told you, a magician.
Yes, never reveals his secrets and all that. Why don't we just skip to the part where you tell me what this is all about?
Timer?
Where did you find that?
In the breaker room, darling. Right where you left it.
Oh.
Here's the part where you start talking then.
Seems so.
Well, you're right. I put it there. It was Titanico's idea. He thought the whole blackout business would add some drama to the evening.
Drama.
An excuse to startle us. Especially poor little Miss Charisse. So there was nothing wrong with the wiring then?
It's the only part of the place that doesn't look fucked.
That's why he had to make sure to send me to deal with it.
So, you were the only other one who knew about this little special effect then.
Geez, that's being pretty generous. Special effect.
Yes, I do believe so. I did say that the prince often took me into his confidence, didn't I?
Yes, several times, I think.
You seem a little desperate. Not gonna lie. It's really a turn off.
As you can see, it had nothing to do with the murder.
It does seem that way, I suppose. At least, for now.
Alright, we're done here, I think. I don't think there's any reason to examine the room again, is there? I'm just gonna keep talking to people. King bedroom? Who's in the king? Oh, it's Leah. We're gonna talk to Leah. And then Comtessa, and then that's it, everyone again. Hey, Leah. Nothing. Oh, okay. We might be out of things to... Can we open this?
Just what kind of skeletons did the Lee family have locked away inside that conspicuous old chest?
Do I have an object to use on this yet?
I must confess, I have a terrible...
Yes, me too. You said that already. Shit. I've run out of people to talk to and things to look at. Alright, we'll go see Comtessa and see where we're at, I suppose. I thought we'd be able to get in those vases, you know? Really did. Nothing. Shit. And there's nothing in this room either. Most of these rooms have sweet FA in them. Well, now what? How do I know when I found all the information I can find? That's the real question. I doubt that I have, still. Wait. Where's the guy? The outside guy? How do we get outside and talk to them? Man of grounds. Why did I not go over the man of grounds again? Clops. Old Psy. Nothing new. Shit. Well, there's that shed, but we got no way to get into that either, and I don't know if we even need to.
A rundown shed sat in the corner of the yard. Ginger, it was just as well as...
Nada. There's only one light on up there too. Very weird. Well, we've run out of people to talk to. Am I meant to just guess now? Alright, well, I've been messing around and I cannot figure out anything else to actually do. So I'm guessing what we're going to have to do is go and take a guess at who the murderer is. As I already mentioned, Horatio is my prime suspect, so I don't know what else to do. I'm not sure I'm ready for this. Actually, should I save? I'll save. That way maybe I can come back if I fuck it up. Ready. Let's do this. Maybe I'll get it right. Who knows? I believe Horatio was jealous of the prince and Charisse.
The police weren't yet here, but it made no matter. I had seen everything I needed to see. It was time to lay this mystery to rest and expose the guilty party for all to see.
Alright, let's do this.
I do so love it when someone other than me gets their comeuppance.
You're an asshole though. Oh dear. Everybody, how's it going?
Wonderful. Everyone's here. I guess that means we can begin.
Begin, what exactly?
Why, exposing the murderer, of course.
He's gonna ash in his wine.
You mean you know who it is?
Of course I do, my dear.
Don't you?
Well, no. I'm not sure. At least not yet.
Pity. You were the one who said we had to see the truth for ourselves or something, weren't you? Well, it's a good thing that at least one of us has been busy this past little while.
Come now, darling, you simply can't keep us in suspense like this. Are you going to tell us or not?
Yeah, after all this, it better be good. Not that I'm getting my hopes up or anything, mind you.
Tut tut. All in good time, my dear little girl. First, we all need to agree on some basic facts. Mr. Klops, you've been posted out in front of the house ever
Mr.
since we found
Klops.
the body. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. That's right.
And did you see anyone leaving the house? Or anybody hanging about at all?
No, ma'am. There was no one there. and nobody would have got past me.
No, I can.
That's for sure.
I believe it.
No, I'm sure they wouldn't. That glowering gaze of yours alone would be enough to send them scurrying back the way they came. As for the rest of us, did anyone find any trace of a break-in? Broken windows, muddy footprints, anything at all?
Indeed not. I saw nothing of the sort, and if I might say so, a magician's eyes are trained to spot even the smallest of details.
I didn't see anything either.
Oh, me neither.
Thing. Good then. So we agree. Nobody else has entered or left the house, which means that the killer is one of us, right here in this room.
Darling, this is just too much. If you make us wait even a moment more, I shall need a glass of brandy and a bottle of smelling salts.
Oh, I'll take more orange juice. If someone is getting drinks, that is.
Yes, sir. But first, how about we hear who did it?
Yeah, let's do that.
This is it then. There's no going back.
No, man, no going back. What if I fuck it up?
Whoever I point to now is not going to be terribly pleased with me. But that's fine.
You treat everyone like shit anyway. No one's gonna like you.
If they wanted to have half a chance of getting away with this, they made a most misfortunate choice in trying to frame me.
I see. Who was the killer? Horatio.
It was you, Horatio. You killed Prince Titanico.
Me? Misfortune, surely you jest.
You look a bit freaked out.
Horatio, my dear. I think we all agree that if anyone here is a jester, it's definitely you.
That was mean. I like it.
No. I am not a jester, a wizard, a sorcerer, a warlock, if you will. I'm absolutely sure we've been over this before.
Go on.
Yeah. Grand Goofus of the Court or whatever it was.
Grand Goofus.
Why do you think he did it?
Yes, why would I kill my oldest and closest friend? I am more distraught by this terrible affair than anyone. Completely and utterly distraught.
Oh yeah, you look totally distraught.
Yes.
Sitting there with your wine in your hand.
Question. I think we need to first understand why we're all here for this little party at all. Before he left us for the last time, the prince said that he would return with an announcement. I have an inkling of what it might have been.
Titanica's bankruptcy? Proposing to Charisse.
From the beginning, I've had the nagging impression that this entire evening was a show staged for just one special someone. That someone is you, Miss Charisse.
Obviously. Even she knew that, surely.
A show? For me?
Yes, for you. It's no secret to any of us at this point that you and the prince had been, shall we say, stepping out as of late. And so the climax to the prince's little drama is obvious. He was going to ask for your hand in marriage. That's why he had this with him, isn't it?
The ring. It's a nice ring.
Hey, where'd you get that?
Now, all in good time. For now, it's enough to prove the prince's intent. You don't look surprised, my dear.
No. Not completely surprised, anyway.
Why would she be?
My, a grand public proposal then.
That's my friend. He was always such an incurable romantic.
Romantic? Oh, you poor naive boy. This was nothing of the sort. It was a cold, calculated move designed by the prince to get the result he wanted. whisk the object of his affections out of her element into a strange and unfamiliar house, frighten her with ghost stories all evening, and then make a sweeping public proposal in front of a group of high society strangers like myself and the Comtessa. Oh yes, indeed. What girl wouldn't want all of that, I ask you?
Am I right or am I wrong? I'm not sure at this stage.
Horatio, my friend. Tonight will be the night. I have arranged a nice little soiree at the Lee Manor. Just a small affair, so as to be intimate, but with guests that my beloved does not know well. The setting should be perfect.
And you're going to propose right there, in front of everyone?
It's not taking a piss.
Yes, when the time is right. Of course, we must set the mood first. A flash of lightning, a clap of thunder, a macabre historical tidbit or two, and perhaps a little surprise courtesy of your talents, just to add a little more flair.
Why, of course. I can conjure up just the thing for you, I'm sure. But do you really think this will work?
My dear friend, how little you understand of the fair sex. This girl, she is pure as the fallen snow. She only sees the best in everyone. We have nothing to fear.
What are you planning to do to her?
She is putty in my hands.
Creepy.
I really must confess, it was all quite masterfully done. Rejecting a proposal under such circumstances would be unbelievably awkward, both socially and psychologically. Not a bad one to remember from my own books, I think.
This is all pure conjecture and, I might add, completely ridiculous.
Go on.
Yes, you would be quite the authority on the ridiculous, wouldn't you?
That was mean. But he is a murderer. I think.
But, be all of that as it may, you still have yet to get to the part where I have even the slightest reason to kill anybody.
Is that so? I rather thought by this point that would be obvious.
You want to marry Charisse? Right?
It's the oldest tale in the book, really. Two men, one beautiful, charming, and extraordinarily wealthy young girl. You couldn't let Titanico marry Charisse because you wanted to marry her yourself.
It's like you said, who wouldn't?
That's...
All of your life, you've lived in your friend's shadow, haven't you? And here he was, planning to marry a dream wife under your very nose. It was too much. He had to be stopped. She had to be yours.
Well, now, you see, you look here. While, of course, I have nothing but admiration for Miss Charisse, I mean, it's just, as you say, who wouldn't? But the incredible point here is, how could I possibly have killed the prince when I was the one in the basement busily fixing the lights at the time?
Ah, excellent. So we've moved on from the why to the how. Indeed. How was the prince killed after all?
He had a burn on his hand, he's got a broken leg from a fall, and he got a stab in the back.
Took a shiv right to the back.
I'm not so sure it's that simple.
To be fair, we can't really
The burned
fault
hand.
Mr. Klops here for seeing only half the picture. The prince was stabbed, yes. But is that what killed him? I think that the prince...
He was working on the lights. He electrocuted him? Pushed and fell?
was pushed first. Let's use our heads, shall we? What was the prince doing when he left us?
He was going to
Answer the phone.
Yes, and there's a phone on the landing at the top of the double stairs. I think he was pushed from there and was only stabbed later, perhaps just to make sure.
Now that you mention it, there was something funny about the way he was lying.
Yeah, he's got a broken leg.
I saw it too. I'm thinking it's very likely that the fall broke his leg.
Well, all that goes to show that it couldn't possibly have been me. Are you really suggesting I had time to go to the basement, run back up at the phone call, push the prince from the landing without him or anyone else seeing me, run to where he fell, stab him, run back downstairs, and then fix the lights? I'm a wizard, not a marathon runner.
Does seem like a bit of a tall order. Far more likely, someone trailed the prince from the dining room when he went to take the call.
I could swear that reminds me of something. Oh, yes! Misfortune! Am I wrong, or didn't your third husband die from a rather tragic tumble down the hall stairs?
Well, yes, he did, but I hardly see how that's relevant.
Oh, so you're saying she's got experience? Good enough for me. Might
Oh no.
check Misfortune here for the knife too. Who knows? Might settle the whole thing right now.
Oh, we're in trouble.
Searched? Me? I really think that's going a bit too far.
Well, I think we're
Seems
I
pretty
think we're going to jail.
compared to the alternatives.
Ah, well, when you put it that way.
Don't worry, darling, I'll spare you from Mr. Klops here. Just let me see your bag. Good heavens! There is a knife in here!
A knife? I knew it. It was bad luck that killed my friend after all. The bad luck was you!
We are bad luck.
Wizard boy, I think you're about the only one who didn't get that wordplay the first time round.
There's blood on the blade, and it's the same shape as the wound on the prince.
Same shape? Knife
That's
shaped.
why you had the boss's ring. You just killed him to take it off him.
Listen, I know it all looks bad.
Oh yeah, it looks bad.
I'm ever so sorry, dear, but we're going to have to hand you over to the police as soon as they get here. A complete scandal for you. I know, but one does what one must.
Indeed.
I hear them coming now. I'll go.
I definitely missed something.
Justice will be served.
I still think it's Horatio. That time they only gave me 2 options. Usually they give us 3.
Just for some jewelry? Was that really it, Misfortune?
Sherry has so much trouble believing the worst of people. Luckily, I've got no such problem. Just think. A dank, cold, dreary, sunless prison. You'll fit right in.
It's true. Shit. Well. Bad end. Alright, I'll jump back in and see if I can find something, and then we'll go back to that point in the story. What was that? Wire. Interesting. I knew they had to, because he fell from here. 100%. We know he fell from here. And I missed something.
What have we here? There's an extra wire clipped to the back of the phone. I'm quite certain this sort of phone doesn't normally need.
That would be so easy to miss, man.
Let's
Well, I mean,
just
I
leave
missed it.
alone for now, shall we?
Extra phone wire. So someone's wired it up to the mains or something. So he can get so he'll get electrocuted, fall off the balcony. And then they stabbed him as well, which seems fucking overkill. Alright, I'm gonna jump back in and get back to where we were when we failed. I'll bring you back then. Alright, we are back. And because we found the wire, we now have the option. He was electrocuted. which is obviously what, because he did, that means he could have electrocuted him from the breaker room. He'd have it turned off, and when the prince answered the phone, turn it on, electrocute, off the balcony, on the floor, broken, stabby, dead.
Was attacked in quite a clever way, really. He was stabbed, yes, but that wasn't until he was already dead, or very close to it. First, he was electrocuted.
Electrocuted? Good heavens! You mean the bad wiring?
Oh no, this was no accident. If you check the phone closely, you'll see it's got this rather sneaky extra wire hooked up to it. The phone's an older model with a metal casing, so if the wire was live...
I get it. The prince got shocked by the phone and tumbled off the balcony.
Yes.
And broke his leg from the fall. After that, he was stabbed too. It's monstrous.
Hang on, but I picked up that phone. I didn't get shocked.
No, because at that point the wire wasn't live. But someone could have turned it on in the meantime. Someone in the breaker room.
Hack.
So when I told the boss about the call in the dining room and he went to go get it.
Exactly. By the time he reached the phone, the wire was live.
Now, just wait 1 minute here. Since I was down in the break room at the time, how could I possibly have time?
She was told to ring at a very specific time.
There's no way anyone could hear the phone ringing from the basement.
8:32 or whatever.
True, we didn't even hear it from the dining room.
My dear Horatio, I can't believe that I'm the one reminding us of all of this. But you are a magician. You had it all planned out from the beginning. Getting the timing right was easy because...
Horatio tipped off the auditor?
you were the one to tip off the caller. That call came from a financial auditor, a rather fastidious one who had been expressly asked to call at precisely the time that she did.
Mm-hmm.
An auditor? Oh my word. Was the prince in trouble then? I simply had no idea.
Of course you didn't. Masquerading at being successful was Titanico's main talent.
And interesting theory, Misfortune, but you can't possibly have a shred of proof. And why would I tattle on my friend to a financial auditor?
So he come to the phone.
You said yourself, more than enough times, that you were the only one the prince would take into his confidence. So no doubt you knew of his troubles. As for why, didn't I mention that earlier? That was another reason you had to act now. You knew that once they were married, the prince planned to bleed poor little Charisse dry to pay off his creditors. No. Much better that he die now, and that his debts die with him.
Well, what about the stabbing then? Did I do that by remote too?
Good question.
At last. I think it's time to play my trump card. By slipping the knife and the ring into my bag, the killer had hoped to set me up. But that had been their biggest mistake. In reality, all they did was give me the evidence I need to put an end to this.
How?
Yes, stabbing. A bit curious, don't you think? Between the high-voltage shock and the fall, the prince was almost certainly finished already. Why take the risk to stab a man who was already dead?
Very dead.
I give up. Why?
As a red herring.
Quite simply, because stabbing leaves a mark. A mark that would draw our attention away from the real method of death.
Obviously.
And one that lets you plant incriminating evidence on another guest to take the fall for your misdeeds. Evidence like this.
Hey, that's...
There's blood on it. Misfortune. Where did you...
Why, I found it in my handbag, dear. exactly where the killer wanted all of you to find it.
So that's it then? That's the knife that stabbed the prince.
Well...
Oh, it's that wine, isn't it? They use otherwise the wine doesn't have a relevance. So the wine, because everything that you look at has to be relevant, right? So this isn't the real knife. This knife was like drenched in the wine or something. That's why it's covered in blood. And that's why the wine bottle's mostly empty. So no, I think there's a second knife.
Actually, this isn't the knife that stabbed the prince. But we are meant to think that it was.
But the blade, I'm sure it's a match for the wound.
Indeed. But this knife has a twin. I found it hidden under the pillow in the queen bedroom. The Comtessa was there. She'll tell you the same.
Oh, yes, indeed. And there was blood on it as well.
In fact, wasn't that the very room you were in when the body was found, Comtessa? Tell me again. Who was it that came to get you then?
Horatio.
It was Horatio. Oh!
And you think Mr. Horatio stabbed the prince with that knife after shocking him from the breaker room? And then hid it in the bed where he found the Comtessa?
Yeah.
Quite so.
Hey, wait. That doesn't add up.
Add up? Mr. Klops, I never would have guessed arithmetic was your strong suit.
I found the boss. The prince. Almost as soon as the lights came on. So Horatio must have been back in the basement by then.
Here's the timer.
Perhaps he hurried back here after finishing with the unseemly stabbing?
No way. No time. It's quite a ways to the cellar. Running all the way up from there after shocking the phone, stabbing the boss, then all the way back down in time to flip the lights back on, all in the dark, too.
That's what the timer's for.
Not a chance.
It's either to switch it on or off or both.
Now, you see, Misfortune? Even Klops here can see that your version of events is complete nonsense. How are you going to explain this one?
Simple. Magic.
You know, he doesn't really have magic, right?
Oh, I assure you, this is magic of the most mundane variety. You see, down in the basement, there's a little timer hooked up to the breaker. That's what caused our blackout earlier, by the way. All part of the show to emotionally destabilize poor little Charisse here. But if that timer could be used to flip a breaker once, why not again?
Oh, I see it. So Horatio goes to the basement, and instead of flipping the lights on right away, sets the timer again to turn them back on in a few minutes.
Then comes back up and stabs him.
Why, aren't you the smartest little thing? Get your teacher to give you a gold star for that one. Yes, as you can see, he didn't have to make it all the way back to the basement. Just as far as the stairwell, so he could pretend to be coming back up.
Yeah, I guess there'd be time, in that case.
Well, if you're all good and finished, there's just one important fact I'd like to point out. Right now, you have that knife, and I don't. Even if there was a second knife, which you could very well have planted yourself, I might add, at some point, you seem to think I somehow gave you this one. Seeing as I've apparently been spending all of my time running back and forth from the basement, arranging that little trick sounds impossible, even for my abilities.
This is it. The last piece of the puzzle. Get this right, and the wizard's house of cards will collapse like the flimsy sham that it is.
Oh good, I'm looking forward to it. Oh fuck. The blackout, that's the obvious time to do it.
Of course. That's it. Everything comes back to that moment. That blackout was the key to the whole plan all along. That, my dear would-be wizard, is simplicity itself. It was during the perfect moment that you yourself have admitted to having engineered the blackout in the dining room.
Did we get him? Is he fucked? Do we win? I think he's fucked.
Oh, don't worry, my dear. You are safe with me.
Thank you. I was just a bit startled.
Oh, heavens, yes. The light's going out. What horror. I dare say I may faint myself, delicate flower that I am.
Oh, please, Misfortune, allow me. I've got you now.
Oh, what would we do without you? On second thought, you can enhand me. I seem to be quite all right.
Indeed. There's a cattail on the screen.
Yeah, I guess that was a little weird, wasn't it?
He put the extra knife and the ring in your purse right then, when we could barely see anything.
Just so. I have no doubt the blood of my knife belongs to the prince, but no doubt it was easy for Titanic,
Cat, what are you doing?
confidant, to collect a little sample in advance. And as for the ring, well, we were meant to think that I took it off the prince. In fact, that's exactly where you thought it was. Wasn't
No.
it, Mr. Clumps?
Don't go up there.
Me? What have I got to do with this?
Mr. Klops, I'm sorry, but I saw you go into the hall when you found the body. And it seemed to me you were in there for a little too long.
Not for long enough to kill a man, of course, but long enough to give his pockets a quick search for some valuable jewelry that you thought no one would miss.
Well, I mean, it's not like he was gonna need it, right?
Naturally not. But the prince was never carrying the ring himself, of course. That's a job you give to your best man. Although, perhaps in this case, I think worst man would be more appropriate.
Ooh, burn.
Wouldn't you say, Horatio?
He does have real magic.
How dare you! My sweet Charisse, don't listen to a word of it.
Hey, back off, you creep.
Don't you understand? He was only using you. It was I who was meant to be with you, not him. We would have been perfect together. This was the life I've been waiting for. This was the life I deserved.
No. You're nothing but craven villains. You and the prince both. You deserve exactly the company you got. Each other.
Misfortune. This is all your fault. You ruined everything. Everything! You will regret this. You will feel the fire of a warlock's wrath!
Okay.
Ooh.
You're lucky he didn't set you on fire with his magic.
That felt good.
Mr. Klops, I don't know about your skills as a valet, but if I ever have need of a battering ram, I shall be most certain to give you a call.
Very pleased to have been of service, ma'am.
Goodness, after a finish like that, I shall need my doctor to prescribe me a sedative. Oh my word, I think the police are here at last. I shall let them in.
These people are so funny.
I was gonna say, glad that's over. I have to wonder though, Did he really think Sherry would fall for him so easily after offing her old boyfriend?
A shared traumatic event, a grieving young girl, a sympathetic friend, and a third-party villain to blame for it all. I've seen more unlikely scenarios.
And also, men who think very highly of themselves can have a lot of trouble believing not everyone thinks the same.
Yeah,
They
it's
may
true.
look different, but Titanico and Horatio, they really were alike in many ways, I think.
You really are smarter than you look. Have I told you that yet?
I think so.
You are too kind.
When a half compliment's the best you're ever going to get, may as well take it, I guess.
Well, I fear that may be all the kindness I can muster for one evening.
I can imagine.
I imagine the police will want to take my statement. But after that, I hope Mr. Klops will be so good as to show me out with all haste.
I think they'll be wanting the prince's ring back, too, ma'am.
Oh, silly me. Did I put that back in my bag? It is a nice ring, I dare say. Say what you will about the prince, but he really did have good taste for certain things at least. Ta-ta then, everyone.
Ta-ta. True ending achieved. We did it on that first go. Kind of first, if we ignore the bad ending, we kind of did it on our first go. That's pretty cool. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the gameplay. I like. It was really well written, and I enjoyed the extreme drama overacting thing. The campiness, like it a lot. Very cool. I bet there's more endings in there, but we're gonna leave this one here. I might mess around and do some more endings of my own, but see, we got the true ending on the first go. I don't see any reason to carry on with this series. We will move on to the next thing, but I hope you guys enjoyed the series as much as I did. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll be back if there's a post-credit scene.
Ah, yes. They just keep dropping dead, the poor dears. It's so hard to find a good man with stamina these days.
No, ma'am. I'm not a butler. Just a valet.
You have it. Everyone, stay back. She's armed and very likely dangerous.
Oh my, I had heard she was seeing someone, but I never met. I never met.
Perhaps you preferred that your wife. No, that is your husband. You are the wife, and I am an idiot.
Misfortune, you seem to be picking on Mr. Klops for no reason at all. Why would you do that?
Yeah, nice place you got here. If you like entertaining dead people,